much women tennis players earn. If you're in the top 200, if you're clever about which tournaments you go to, you might earn $20,000 a year. You've got a team to finance out of that, if you're going to invest in your future and keep your position. I think myself personally, I prefer to watch women's tennis, and they definitely are comparable in terms of skill. And it definitely is institutional inertia of the status quo that keeps male players getting paid so much more than female equivalents. If we are creating female role models and everyone can have the right to exploit themselves in an objectified way if they choose to, Wozniacki when she had a golfing partner. But if that starts to feel like a possible retirement plan, the ATP and World Tennis Association really should investigate themselves for something like unlawful restraint of trade or something. Level up. Should a tennis player be allowed to inject insulin on court if they're a diabetic? Should a tennis player mother be allowed to breastfeed a child on court? This is on court, not in court, but it is a melodrama because there's already a machine for that. A pump, to be precise. If you're supposed to appear in a court in Tiergarten, Germany, should you be allowed to go and earn a day's work of, I don't know, £500,000, £1 million, that would be sufficient to pay any fine instead of appearing in person? That is what will be happening during the French Open, 28th May till the 11th of June, and Wimbledon, 1st to the 14th of July, and during the Paris Olympics. Brenda Patia brought charges during the Australian Open. Zverev has a daughter with her who was born in 2021. His daughter was perhaps conceived while he was partying in Monaco, where he lived, supposedly self-isolating during COVID-19 pandemic, testing negative after touring with Djokovic. Since 2021, Zverev has been dating German actress Sophia Domalia, an East German recreational kickboxer. She's discussed gender equality on the German show Tough But Fair, and been on the jury of the tattoo show Pain and Fame, a sort of German version of the Great British Sewing Bee or the Great British Bake Off. Commenting on the Me Too campaign, she says, "I think the campaign is an insult to the true rape victims." She's been married to and dated a few singers and musicians, a soccer goalkeeper, they have big hands. But Netflix Point Break isn't going to be continued. A behind-the-scenes expose, a bit like Drive to Survive, but it ignored allegations against Alexander Zverev. Legal courts in the United States of America have stipulations, or rather, voluntarily, sporting bodies, as soon as an allegation has been made, the sportspersons aren't able to compete, aren't able to be a role model. Zverev is, at the moment, a representative of the Players' Council, but not knowing any of the details and viability of the claim, none of the players are really having much to say. Watch for Katie Bolter. She was very vocal around the COVID scandal. We don't really know much about the details of the quite brief relationship that bore the daughter. And suspending judgment for a little while, you have to wonder if it is possible there's an opportunist scenario going on, even if it's an avenue of perhaps child support not being taken seriously, and digging at a wound, so to speak, of where there is a history.
Game, set, and match.
Alexander Zverev's first accusation of domestic abuse against him came in October 2020. Ex-girlfriend Olga Sharipova, in an article in Racket magazine, Ben Rothberg accused Zverev of physically and emotionally abusing her over the course of their relationship. Sharipova named multiple instances where Zverev allegedly became violent towards her, including punching her in the face during an argument that took place in the pair's hotel room while Zverev was competing in the 2019 Laver Cup. Zverev denied the statements and issued a statement after Sharipova's initial accusations. I very much regret that she makes such statements because the accusations are simply not true. Second article by Rothberg and the allegations was released in August 2021, this time in Slate magazine. The second article picked up Sharapova's story where the first one left off. It included a description of the alleged violence escalating in October 2019. Sharapova said she went to take a shower, during which Zverev continued berating her from outside the bathroom door. When I got out of the shower, I was starting to take a towel, and he came and said, "Pack your stuff right now and leave." Sharapova recalled, "I'm just like, okay, can you wait a few minutes, please? I'm naked here." From there, Sharapova said Zverev attacked her more violently than he ever had before. She said that he grabbed her by the throat and pushed up against the hard tile wall of the bathroom. He started to punch me, and this time I understand that I can't be dough for punching. Sharapova has repeatedly said that she's not interested in pursuing criminal or civil action against Zverev. She told the journalist she wanted to be open and honest and to help other women who tend to stay silent in such situations due to fear and not being believed. Zverev secured an injunction from a Berlin court against Slate magazine in August 2021, barring it from publishing the assault allegations without stronger evidence. In response, Slate stated that it stands by the reporting in the article and has not removed the article from its website. They protested that the injunction was obtained without the organisation having an opportunity to present evidence, and they appealed the decision. The 2021 Laver Cup commentator, Mary Carrillo, wasn't impressed with how the ATP handled the allegations and stepped down, resigning from her presenting role. The ATP, Association of Tennis Professionals, had a 15-month third-party legal investigation and concluded they will not punish Zverev due to insufficient evidence to substantiate the allegations. Now, let's do this chronologically. The 2022 Mexican Open. The first round doubles loss. Zverev repeatedly struck umpire Alessandro Germani's chair with his racket after calling a ball out during a tie-break. Zverev was substantially defaulted from the tournament, forfeiting all points and prize money that he'd won so far. He received a maximum fine of $40,000 by the ATP, an additional $25,000 fine and a suspended 8-week ban. He was also placed on probation for 1 year. Zverev later issued an apology on social media. Can find no comment from his doubles partner. Or locker room anecdotes. Not just whether they thought the ball was in or out. There is now, though, this second allegation of domestic abuse. About 6 months after the ATP declined to take action against Zverev in July 2023, allegations from a second woman became public through a court filing. A penalty order in a Berlin criminal court was requested over alleged bodily harm against Brenda Patea. This is the ex-girlfriend and mother of his daughter, mentioned earlier, physically abusing and damaging the health of a woman during an argument in Berlin, May 2020. The order included a fine of €450,000. Zverev lodged an objection against the order, which, under German law, results in a public trial. Nearly 3.5 years later, in an interview with South German Zeitung, Patea said that during a dispute in May 2020, after Kobe, Zverev pushed her into a wall and choked her. It was after this that Zverev was appointed ATP Players Advisory Council, serving on the aforesaid domestic abuse charge pending in a criminal court. ATP could be criticised. Both accusations are strikingly similar. Whatever Zverev's trigger is, perhaps it results in the same action. Perhaps it's just an imaginative person. But is there smoke without fire? And if the person accused doesn't have to appear in court physically themselves, they can just have their representatives there. It is just one person's word against another. There might be holes in the stories, but the person giving evidence in front of and their reactions to being cross-examined adds flesh to one person's word against another. They are their own character reference. I'm sorry to put this over the top of how much women tennis players earn. The New York Post is saying should he even be allowed to play. Rafa says he will give blood for Paris. Victory. But can he be everyone's knight in shining armour and make a stand for civilization and values against what might be meanness and naked aggression? Tennis can be a stylised gladiatorial warfare, not the entrenchment and invasions of a team sport like rugby. Not like the naked aggression of boxing. Tennis has a proxy aggression to it. A pacifist can enjoy it, even as brutal as it can get. Come on, Rafa! And we want to see you go deep in the tournament.